In January 1983 at the NAMM show, two rival companies did something that rivals just don't do. Sequential Circuits and Roland connected a Prophet 600 to a Jupiter 6 and made them talk. Then they gave the protocol away, and that's why Midi is in every piece of music gear on earth, and it's why it's won its creators a technical Grammy. It's 40 years old, and in all that time the format itself has never really changed. Plenty of things got added, but Midi 2.0 is the first time that the actual protocol has changed. I'm a music producer and a software engineer. I write software and firmware for audio manufacturers, and I teach plugin development in DSP in London. Now this one's going to be a little bit technical, so hold on. Now Midi as it is a one-way dribble of bytes with no error detection on the wire, not even a parity bit. Controls are 7 bits, which is 128 steps. Messages arrive a byte at a time, then the receiver assembles them. Every stuck note you've ever had lives in all this mess, because anyone who's pulled out a Midi cable while a note was held down on their controller knows what I'm talking about. If you bend one note in a chord, the whole channel bends. Now there are workarounds like MPE, which is how a Rolly C-board works, but everything to get there has been a bit of a hack. Midi 2.0 fixes all of this. First of all, the universal Midi packet. Every message is one complete packet, and nothing arrives half finished and nothing interrupts it. Velocity is now 16-bit and controllers are 32-bit. This means 4 billion steps on a filter sweep instead of 128. 16-bit velocity for drums, for example, means now every hit is going to arrive measurably different. Timing is next. Packets can now carry timestamps, so the sender streams its own clock and stamps each event. Then the receiver buffers a couple of milliseconds and fires events when they're meant to happen, not when they stagger in. So jitter becomes a tiny fixed delay. The next one is handshaking. So Midi 1.0 could talk back through SysX, but every manufacturer was just implementing their own. So Midi 2.0 standardizes this. Devices discover each other and then they agree what they support, and then they switch formats. So a controller can ask your software for its parameter names, for instance. There's no need for Midi learn, there's no mapping. Then the fundamental shift. Notes stop pretending to be pitches. So Midi 1.0 never transmitted pitch. It transmits key numbers, basically which piece of plastic you pressed. In 2.0, a note on carries its actual pitch inside the message, which is a semitone plus a 9-bit fraction. So the keyboard can say C4 plus 37 cents in the note itself. So MIDI guitar is going to be a great example of how we could use MIDI 2.0. Today you have to use one channel per string in order to track pitch bend. In 2.0 you get one channel per note bends, and then a note on a bent string starts at the pitch that the string's actually at. The spec landed in 2020. Apple, Linux, and then this year finally Windows implement it. At the moment there's not a lot of hardware that even really implements it, but that's where MIDI 1.0 started too. It was just two keyboards on a table. So let's wait and see what happens.